across each other.
Played high school just about 15 miles apart. Johnson, step back three. Another.
DeLuma's had a couple of stops. Creighton and Kansas State. Texas push. What a jam.
Oh, my.
Has a new book coming out. Tre Johnson. Boy, that
Johnson looking for a seam. Well played by Conwell. He's going to elevate. Corner three. Last week in Nashville. Johnson out of the corner. Johnson to the cup. Out of character for them. There's a three. Johnson. But
I'll just let that hang.
Johnson on the launch. Got it.
Going to get friendly bounces.
Johnson.
The shot off over Lanier. Now Kent. Now Johnson. And he's on the board. Shedrick gives it back to him. Deep in the corner again. He's trying. Somehow got it off and hits. They won. In the game where they went 12 for 23, they lost.
well, they can't offensive rebound the Mavs.
That's true. A&M has had a great year. A lot of big wins. Johnson a threat from anywhere, including there, and he gets. Johnson pulls up in transition. This is only their fourth game all year where everybody has been healthy. Off the glass,
Really attacking switches.
Johnson freed himself for a three to the SEC tournament in 11 years. Johnson over Coleman. Pope somehow gets it to Johnson.
I think they do a great job of setting staggers and high ball screens, and they play out of it very well. Very smart players.
Get it to a stop. Couldn't get his feet underneath him. Now he'll take it. And hit it. 10 to shoot. 12 on the game clock. Here's Johnson. Hits. And back come the Longhorns.
The shots aren't coming in a way where Vanderbilt can get offensive rebounds and attack in the corners.
Kaluma, 5 to shoot. Back out. Johnson's got to make something happen, and he hits the Vanderbilt. A very big game for both, probably more so for the Longhorns as John
Wasn't there.
Johnson, the deep triple. Yes.
Other end. Numbers. Yes, sir. Right there.
1 point.
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
That's Houston, Iowa State. Johnson off the screen. Tre Johnson contested three.
Home and overtime #1.
Johnson for the lead. Drains it.
Taking care of the basketball.
Georgia needs to as well. Surreal threw it away looking for Abson. 10 combined turnovers, only 6 combined buckets. Johnson's got a chance at 3. 11, 260 pounds, the freshman from Nigeria. Let's see if Johnson can get rolling here on a step back. Triple.
Start for both of these teams. Tre Johnson hit an early 3, and here he is for a Pope fights around the double. They swing it to Tre Johnson. Can't leave. Tre Johnson says, okay, I'll take it. And he goes, right. Who then become much better towards the end of the season when they spend some time together. Tre Johnson. I made the comp earlier of a defensive back. Here's Tre Johnson off the screen. Battle. Push ahead to Tre Johnson. He wants to shoot it. Got it! Back to the wheel. On the curl. The down curl. And Tre Johnson loving it. Got it! Well, now you got a mismatch with Brazil. Help came from Davis. Tre Johnson pulls from 3. Does. And a 6-6 knocks on him. They finish. 20 seconds to play, down 5. Johnson step back 3. Of course he did.
Down defensively. The question is, do they have the firepower to stay with Texas tonight? And Tre Johnson, case in point. Tracked down by Pryor and a fresh 20. Johnson for 3. Yes.
I'm going to take you, then you go. If they don't say that,
especially with NIL, it makes a lot of sense of coming back.
Horns on the move. Little shake and bake from Tre Johnson, up and in. But Florida, Auburn, Bama, all with big wins today, proving why they are. Johnson picked up by Arden Conyers. He'll try to take advantage, and does. Who just stole it?
Yes.
Johnson off glass and in.
All turnover. And again, we talk about controlling the game offensively.
Johnson on Thomas.
Had been a starter, they go with Larry, better defender, better distributor. Tough shot on the baseline.
7-7 guy right now in league play at 25 minutes a game.
Corner
Yeah,
three.
pain about any time he wants. His shot is still a work in progress, but he plays hard.
Larry to start. I'd like to see Pope maybe have a little fire lit underneath him. Johnson. Oh, man. 4-minute mark of the first half. Johnson. Rises.
And on 6-5 is what Nate Oates decides to go with. What a shifty move by Johnson.
Sure was. Much of a relief it is for a guy like Amore to be alongside him.
No doubt.
Johnson left wide open. That's a late.
Fourth. They've got 10 turnovers in this game. That's the number you.
Stevenson nearly got tripped from behind. Whoa.
What a weapon. Here's Johnson. Fuse. McLaughlin and Carey so valuable for a team that does not have great front court depth there. It's nickel. Isolation. Johnson wants it. Johnson crossover. Johnson driving.
And he said, look, you're not just going to be a standstill shooter big man.
Tre Johnson for three. Drilled shoot around today, and he was pointing him out to the rest of his teammates. He said he doesn't need anybody to tell him he's great.
Time in this game to get that late shot clock and do a nice turnaround jumper.
Johnson, reverse layup off.
Calipari out of the timeout.
Tre Johnson, sidestep three. Frederick, he had blown right by Johnson, but picked up by his teammate. Transition three, got it!
He was leading the Racers of Murray State and won Ja Morant to the tournament. There's a step back base shot clock. Johnson around the screen. Johnson. Couple moves down low, and there's a shot. It really does. Top of everybody's scouting report. Step back three from the corner. Asked to take on nearly as much of the scoring load in Austin with all the other weapons that this team has, including this guy right.
That's the only way LSU can play at its ceiling.
Yeah, they had to have that against the Texas team. Great rhythm in this second half. This guy's always in rhythm. How about that?
Here's Julian Larry to now Tre Johnson.
Every possession must end with a cut against this help side defense.
Tre Johnson contested
Streak to start conference play, and a primary reason why they had that huge win at Alabama. He was a monster.
He owned him on the glass. And Tre Johnson.
Rebels lead by three. Tre Johnson is able to get the from Padula. Now he finds Tre Johnson. And we're tied. There to help run the offense. Larry was sensational against the Aggies. Tre Johnson going baseline. That is his move. From Indiana State, Arthur Kaluma is out with a bothersome knee injury. Here's Tre Johnson, the super fresh. Early uses the screen. Here's Shedrick, gives it right back to him. Step back three. Got it! Larry has nowhere to go. Mark to Tre Johnson, gathers and guns. Got it! Phelps. Rebounded by Tremont Mark.
Yeah, they never got the switch, which hurts their offensive rebounding too.
Kent finds Johnson for three. Got it!
And right up there by the rim. I like the push here, though, by Texas. Largest lead. Now,
Kaluma with the drive. Here's Johnson, free throw line. Nailed it. Got it across in time. So Texas, will they show patience? Johnson wants it immediately.
Don't want to get in a mismatch with your point guard having a box off conduct.
Tre Johnson from the low three. Onyema gives it up. This is the isolation they want to run for Tre Johnson. Turnaround. That is a beautiful shot. Here's Johnson again, isolation. Fade away. Got it again. A 10-0 or better this season. I mean, they can put it on you in a hurry. Here's the isolation for Johnson. And that will end that. And Johnson cut off. Little up and under move. Got it.
And a turnover. Here comes Johnson. Both teams trying to become better rebounding programs.
Oh, my.
Well, Pryor, love to have that one back. Here's Johnson, right in his wheelhouse. And they have been very impressive so far tonight. Johnson.
Oh, no.
With the bounce. Are you kidding?
Trying to go freshman against freshman.
There it is. Fears on Johnson. The turnaround. And the bounce. Johnson defended by Goodeye. Tre Johnson.
Ziegler's got to be matched up with Larry. Base hands on that pass. Johnson transition three. Feel it. Here's Johnson. Size advantage on Ziegler. Turnaround, fade away. Beautiful. Shot clock at 7. About a 3-second difference between shot and game clock. Tre Johnson. Man. Kaluma gives it back to Johnson. 6 on the shot clock. High off the glass.
A healthy Cade Phillips doesn't miss that. He's really struggling with that shoulder.
Tre Johnson. Step back. Looks. It was just a bad shooting day. Fade away. Even made that. Tre Johnson lurking in the corner, guarded by Meshack. Beautiful back cut. And a 2. Here's Tre Johnson from the elbow.
The price of admission.
Oh, my goodness.
See if the Longhorns can get to Will Howard.
And 5 of 9. Johnson falling away.
This matchup here for Texas. He's got size.
Yep. Here's Tre Johnson working on Pettiford. Tries to shoot over and got it. He can make it interesting with a 3. Fades. Got it.
Texas from running so far in the second half. Johnson turnaround 2.
There
Good.
you go.
Off it goes to Tre Johnson. Weave it back to the right side. Fade away from the right side. It rattles home side. Larry across the floor to Johnson. Tre, a contested 3, and it's good. Jumawan's first personal foul. Tre Johnson trying to drive in. Instead will nail for Northwestern State. Weaver into the corner, shooting over it. Johnson, a 3, and
I think on Yema to play a lot of minutes in games this season, but when he is on the floor, just how part of basketball. Robert Carpenter, the Aggies' leading scorer, misfires from 3. Tre Johnson fires from 3, but Shedrick chases down the rebound. Johnson pulls up in the short corner. Or 2 nights before SEC play for Texas. Arkansas Pine Bluff will be here Sunday afternoon. Johnson with the right hand.
This is Johnson, averaging almost 21 a game. Lays it.
Wait a minute, that's his nickname now?
Johnson trying to back down Diarra. Got the shot off here last year. Baylor was in here. Remember the job he did on Jacoby Walter? And now it was their switches were lazy. You know, they're switching everything. Boy, tough shot. Here's Johnson. And again, look at the defense by Diarra. Diarra is doing his job. And Johnson 7 for Hassan Diarra.
Diarra's been outstanding. He's run the team and then he's defended there.
Ball is still loose. Johnson's got it. And it's down to 12.
Just a wide pin for Johnson.
Diarra back on Johnson. The floater.
He's starting the challenge. SEC won the first 9 games before Clemson pulled off an upset of Kentucky late last. Kevin Durant was at the first one. Here's Tre Johnson with the fadeaway. Good. Turned away. NC State with the turnover. State has given up. Well, here at NC State, that legacy continues. Johnson pull up 3. Whoa! NC State thought it was goaltending. All burnt orange the other way. Tre Johnson like at 10 now. Let's see what the freshman can do to shoot it. Over the top of this.
Returns the favor. Johnson, Texas with numbers, give and go. Tre Johnson.
It's all right with me.
Meanwhile, here's the newbie, Tre Johnson. The up and under.
And pick up another quality win.
Took that missed free throw now, 4 of 8 at the strike as a team tonight.
they're a very good free throw shooting team.
Boy, before this game's over. And he's healthier than he was at the beginning of the season. No longer wearing that shoulder harness he had for Johnson again. Defended by Gainey. Finds Shedrick. #1 in the nation. Johnson into some trouble. Finds Kaluma, who scores again. Tre Johnson to get himself going. Just 2 on the Longhorns. Johnson finds the open man. Weaver put around by almost everybody and controlled by Johnson. Mark in the corner. 4 3.
You get that kind of penetration, he gets a spot up shot, forget it.
Tasty of those cookies.
Do like chocolate chip. Great look to Shedrick.
Think about that, right? Moving forward, Northweathers get his confidence.
Larry's had a hot hand. That can
Anything he's selling. Froze the defender. Wow, what a pass.
Tremont Mark wide open.
What a pass. At some point, that was it.
Gamecocks and Longhorns tomorrow 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN for the SEC Tournament Champion. Can Tre Johnson get the offensive game going? The vision is there! The SEC. Lead it 4. Johnson, a great look to Kent.
Points in that game.
Backdoor cut for Johnson outside to Mark. How about the vision? Free on the low block. He'll bounce out to get it. Shedrick wide open from the corner, and that's Johnson spots Mark. That's a 3. And
They haven't needed him here in the first half. Tre Johnson kicks it back out for Jason Kent. From Florida, Dylan James getting a 4th start the last 5 games. Mike White said to his pregame, he's a winning player. Kaluma. Yema got a piece of it. The Horns push. Johnson gave it back to Kent for 2.
3. First miss from deep for the Hogs tonight. And Texas running the floor. The new faces for Arkansas. Brazil, the only holdover. Kaluma. Blind.
They are going to the well with this play.
And he finds Shedrick. Great ring.
Last 3 made field goals by South Carolina. All Ugasuk 3s. Johnson, Shedrick.
Driving hard. Johnson, nice pass in the paint. That's a pretty for a day and a half. We're going to keep our team together, come to Austin, watch the Super Bowl, practice, and keep our focus. And it has worked out.
And that time was Magnon. This is Johnson. Johnson drops off a beautiful pass and the bucket.
See the spacing. Everybody was bunched together.
Right after I just bragged about their spacing. That's a 3 they want to, but obviously it's a turnover. Great feed from Johnson. Missed it. I think Shedrick got a piece of that. I think he did. Another dime drop.
With the shot clock, yeah. Texas takeaway. Here's the lob. That's a good look.
You know, a couple buckets, and if you're Texas, you can get this thing to single digits.
Shedrick with the hammer.
Off the curl. Johnson, great dime and a stuff. Everything but the finish. Now Texas the other way. Johnson defers. Strong finish. They work it around the horn. Great pass by the freshman to the weak.
Missouri and their big win today on the road in Starkville, and Tennessee winning short-handed. So what's Missouri's reward?
30-point effort against A&M was the best for a Texas freshman since Durant's final game. 1,000-point career scores. Texas has 5. Here's Pope for 3. Teammates' hands, and Zarek Onyema kicks it outside. A bullet pass inside. Onyema gets spun around. It up. Solomon Washington didn't play much in the first half. Beautiful no-look pass.
And it's to Pryor. Back in the hands of the freshman Johnson. Tough sledding for him. Baseline feed. Kaluma.
It's a program that is built on working out first thing. So they got Thursday morning off. Meshack gets screened. Johnson goes right inside.
Here comes Johnson.
Oh! All defensive team with Indiana State. Tre Johnson with the pass into the corner. What is that, the 4?
Weaver got it back. Now to Johnson. Tre. Again to Kaluma. This time he'll shoot the 3 and connect.
Is no easy feat. So
could be showtime here. Kaluma
for the slip to the basket. And now 8 assists for Diarra. Pope, a corner. Wants to clear out, wants some space to drive. Kaluma. Yes. Round and another possession for Texas. Johnson. Great find. What a. They're ticking away right now, down to 1:20. Johnson off a screen. Kicks it to Kaluma. Good look. Got it.
Missed a wide open Caden Shedrick a moment ago. Shedrick was calling for it. Meanwhile, from the outside is Pope. Understand Waterman. You say, listen, they paid us to come here. We're giving them all they can handle here in the set.
Johnson slashing. Great find. Shedrick.
College sports all-time rivalries. 226 meeting between excellent team on both ends of the floor. But it was interesting how one shot, a Tre Johnson three, and he gets the rejection here. Ziegler hesitation. Lanier guarded by Larry. Let's see if they get him a touch. Ziegler downhill. Rejected by Tre.
I think they got to keep trusting their offense, but they're going to put a lot of pressure on their defense to get stops.
Texas defense has been good.
A couple of years ago. A lot of experience on this Texas team. Watson drive.
Nice team defense by Chicago State that time.
At 8, Michi Johnson sets the table for Parrish. Shot clock at 2. Look at Johnson.
Here's Fears trying to crack the scoring column against Johnson.
Great defense.
Johnson.
Longhorns, you've got to do a much better job of taking care of the basketball.
The Glass, great job of knowing where he was. Shout out George. They do. Here's Nelly Davis off the screen. Left his feet and turned it over.
Came back and won their respective games. The Aggies did it twice. The Gators did it once. And Arkansas did it against Georgia.
And shorthanded tennis.
Brakefield. Ole Miss with the numbers. Klafke turns it on.
Supposed to give up those kind of off-the-bounce shots like that.
And a turnover here.
This is an Auburn-type game.
Johnson knocks it. Longhorns trying to complete this comeback of 21. They get a steal.
This sees one goes through the hoop there on that corner three.
And Taylor.
Remember, we were here last year. Baylor was in here. Remember the job he did. Win it in overtime.
Yeah, Gonzaga was up 16 at halftime. And Jackson Robinson was fantastic. What a great steal
for Texas, and promptly turned it over. And Delaware
Stampkin with a quick double team. Kaluma's there. Skips it to Bell. Has missed his first 2. On the deck, Bell is stripped.
Couple of minutes.
Well, you live by the 3 and you survive by it and you die by it. 9 for 14, 10 and 27. Grant said it. 9 of their 10 field